Joe fans, Joe Motion Videos 82 here. It is time for another G.I. Joe toy review. And today we're going to be looking at a very, very interesting tank. It is the HISS tank, Mark II. It hit the shelves in '89. It was on the shelves until '91 when it was discontinued. There was also a 2-pack that was available in '89, but that was a Benny's exclusive that came with the Mud Fighter and 2 mystery figures. So let me go ahead and pull that up for you. And I do have a Mud Fighter to go along with it, but it wasn't the Benny's department store exclusive. I don't know much about Benny's. Actually, I don't know anything at all about Benny's. I'm assuming it was somewhere in the Midwest or the East Coast of the United States. But we were given the HISS tank in 1983. This is by far one of the most popular vehicles in the toy line. There are tons of them out there because it was available quite a bit longer on the aftermarket, or not on the aftermarket, but after this left the pegs. It was available through Hasbro Direct for several years. Arguably the best Cobra vehicle, in my opinion. But you know, this is a great piece to display. We had a lot of fun playing with it as kids. And when I thought they couldn't get any cooler, HISS Tank 2 came out. But to be 100% honest with you guys, I do not remember seeing this as a kid. '89, I was in junior high. I was just finishing junior high, actually getting ready to go into high school. So my purchasing of larger G.I. Joe vehicles and things like that was starting to slow down a bit. So I don't recall looking for this on the shelves. I was more interested in just getting the figures at that time. They were a little bit cheaper, you know, $8.39 was was it $8.39? I apologize for that. Yeah, $8.39. That was very inexpensive for a vehicle of this caliber, but with you know, pocket money, I didn't really want to pay that much when I could buy 2 action figures. So, you know, 2 is better than 1 in a way. But yeah, I honestly don't remember seeing this on the shelves. I don't even know any kids that owned it at the time either. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at this vehicle. And I have some announcements coming up after this. So here it is, the HISS Mark II. There is a lot going for this vehicle. Hold on, I just knocked down my lights. Like I said, I'm working in a confined space here. There is a lot going for this vehicle. So let's start off by looking at the track driver. The HISS Mark II driver. A far cry from the original HISS driver. To look at either of these two, I would definitely say he was Cobra, or he was G.I. Joe, without even having to, without the insignia on the chest. He has it on his helmet, of course, but that looks like G.I. Joe. So this guy in 1989, very futuristic. He looks nothing like a G.I. Joe action figure. Not even Cobra. The colors are not Cobra. The helmet is somewhat Cobra. It looks like that one-eyed ghost off of the Scooby-Doo movie, or even Rom the Space Knight. if you guys remember him. But this figure is really cool. You can see he's clad mostly in gray. A little bit of black down here on his abdomen and up on his shoulders. Red gloves. Red visor. He has a sash going across his chest. A little splash of silver there. Sash goes around his back, covering his body armor. He has a stiletto on his left boot. He has these hoses, just kind of punch things up a little bit. It'd been nice to have a little paint application on there, maybe silver, some gold, possibly. And the ever popular knee pads. Great looking figure. It's all I have to say is this dude has a square head. Just look at that helmet. It is very cool nonetheless. Wish the visor would raise up, but it doesn't. Great looking action figure. The person that I purchased this from recently, this was his from his childhood, and obviously took very good care of it. The driver came with one accessory. This pistol. Pretty decent looking pistol. Let me turn a light on here. There we go. Pretty decent looking pistol, all in all. It looks like an air gun that a friend of mine had, where you had to pull this back to cock it. Very futuristic looking. Great detail on it. There is a new feature that was added. Well, several new features. One is a drop-down cockpit. Underneath is a mechanism that you push in and it drops down. I do not have the seat clips. I don't care to own the seat clips. Those never really bothered me. Big problem with this vehicle is it scratches up the driver's gloves. This is a spare driver that I have. They fit right into the cockpit here. You kind of have to stand up in a way, and when it folds up, you can see he is right there in the canopy. Oh, sorry, got a little dust on it already. Had it out of the box one day. So yeah, this is really cool. 2 Cobra sigils right there, one for each driver, I would assume. But it drops down and the driver could step out. If you look up inside the cockpit there, look at all of that sculpting. Beautiful work. That is just absolutely beautiful. Now, let's go ahead and flip it around to the side. It has 2 cannons. There's no left or right. I'll call these cheek cannons. They rotate 360 degrees. And they actually, that's it, set designers getting fired again. They mushroom peg into these holes right here. So very nice. This is the bane of the collectors. Outside of the seat clips, these 2 missiles, identical missiles, dumbbell peg, very futuristic looking, great looking missiles. They just slot right on here to the side. These quite often come up missing, as I had mentioned at the beginning of the video, and they are very expensive on the aftermarket, all depending on what you call expensive. And they're somewhat harder to find. I like this sticker right here on the front. Little skull and crossbones. Let's look at the detail on there. It has the typical tracks for the HISS. But if you look at the 83 HISS, let me move this guy out of the way. The tracks are about the same, but they put an indentation right here. It's on 2 roller wheels. Down there on the bottom it has, looks like the transmission kind of exposed. It has the 1989 mark on the bottom. Another sticker here, JVK 895. This gun is insane. A triple-barreled cannon. Just look how long it is. It clips over the gunner's mount, or the gunner's position. Let's go ahead and slide him down in there. Fits right over his shoulders, but look at the size of that gun compared to the HISS. These look so puny now compared to this guy. And the side-by-side comparison, you can just look at that. This is considerably wider because it has a crew of 2. Actually carries 3 because it has a gunner up at the top. But the surprise is in the back. And this is my favorite play feature on this. Oh, also carry 2 more guys on the back. I failed to mention that. But drop down the crew department. Slide it out. Look at that. And you could fit 4 more troops in there. These come up missing as well. About as often as the missiles. These are a little bit easier to find. I have another one of these that I'm trying to complete. But I purchased these pretty quick from one seller. But even the detail on the inside is great. But it slides right in there on a tray. And boom, you close the hatch. And you have 2, 3, 7 Cobras. And if you want to put 2 more on the back here, all those, yeah, put 2 more on the back there. I don't think those are really foot pegs. They look like it, but they're not. Okay, so you have 2, 3, 7 Cobras that you could carry in there, or POWs, whichever. This is a beautiful tank. I absolutely love it. When I first saw this being reviewed, I thought, man, I got to get one. And I wish I had at that time, because the price has gone up on these exponentially. So, yeah, there you have it, guys. The HISS Mark II. Beautiful Cobra tank. I can't say enough good about this. Hurry up and get one. And so this tank it's absolutely beautiful. Sorry, a little short of breath this morning. They took what they didn't necessarily had the technology for at the time for this tank, or they had future plans for another tank. I don't know what Hasbro was thinking. Seldom do we. And they made something that was incredibly cool and made it bloody spectacular. They more than tripled the crew capacity. They gave the driver a gun. I like it when drivers come with a gun. I've said that before, and I'll keep on saying it, because if you want to play with the driver outside the vehicle, we always had to borrow another weapon so that that figure could fight. And it came with 2 extras with the Benny's 2-pack exclusive. So you didn't only get Dogfight with the Mud Fighter and the Track Viper with the HISS tank, but you had 2 more action figures. And you know, I wish that I could have found the 2-pack out on the aftermarket, but there weren't any. And I'm sure you'd pay at least $200 or $300 for it, mint in box or more. But I am happy to have the individual Mud Fighter and this. There's no difference between the two. They just double packed one. And that brings me up to my announcement. I promised a giveaway, and that is going to happen as soon as one item arrives in the mail. I was trying to think of something cool just to start off the new decade. So each category of recipients, the subscribers, you guys are all entitled to a giveaway, and my channel supporters are entitled to their own giveaway. So they're both really cool prizes that I'm giving away. I have one of the two, so I'm not going to say what I have until I have the both of them. And when that hits my porch, hopefully today, I will get on it and tell you about it. So with all that being said, you know, I do recommend you guys get one of these, especially with the prices going up. And that is a trend that I've been paying close attention to, and I was discussing this with a friend of mine on eBay. With the prices of the action figures going up, they were cheap 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I remember buying them complete for just a few bucks at bookstores, you know, vintage toy stores, things like that. It's us, the toy reviewers, I'm sorry, but the popularity of toy reviewers, this is just my theory, it's spawning all these old childhood memories in people, because I know it happened to me, and I've read your comments, and it's happened to you guys too, saying, hey, I didn't start collecting until I started watching this channel, and I want to get my old toys back. Isn't that amazing? The powerful memories and feelings that these hunks of plastic brought out in us. It's a very strong emotional attachment in some ways for some people. Others, it's just a sentimental journey. For me, as a kid, these were my friends. My toys were my friends. Especially when I was really a lot younger. My older siblings, when we lived out in Ohio, a very rural area, so our friends lived far away, I played a lot by myself. My older siblings were off playing with their friends, so it was just myself, my mother, and my toys. So my toys and my dog were my friends. So I have a stronger emotional attachment to the toys, but it's just amazing. That bond still stays with us even into our adult years. So it is a theory, and I think it's a pretty sound one, that with the increase in toy reviewers, it's bringing up the price of the toys. Now, HCC 788 and I talked about this a few years back. I had mentioned that I had noticed prices going up a month or so after his reviews, and he chuckled and he said, "Oh, we should, you know, call that the Brian effect." That's actually a very good word, the Brian effect. So yeah. The Brian effect, the reviewer effect, that is spawning the prices of these toys going up. So in a sense, I'm contributing to Byron's gripes. I'm ticking myself off with these prices going up. Why? Because I'm a reviewer. But I must say that it was a toy reviewer, actually HCC788. He was the first toy reviewer I ever saw on YouTube. I was always watching music videos or old commercials from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. I didn't know anything about toy reviewers. And I was looking for G.I. Joe cartoons one day, and I came across, what is this? What's HCC788? And he started talking about toys, like, oh my gosh, yes. And I looked over at my closet, and I pulled out my box of G.I. Joes that I still had, and I started piecing them together by memory, mind you, putting the accessories with the action figures. And that kicked off my collecting full time 5 years ago. So I have him to thank, and other reviewers, of course, but that effect took me in. So excuse me. All of that being said, let's go ahead and move move into my favorite segment, Byron's Gripes. Now, when I mentioned that this thing is pretty expensive, it's up there, yes. So you're looking for the HISS tank, incomplete. What I mean by incomplete, doesn't have the seat pegs or the seat clips, doesn't have the missiles, doesn't have the driver. It may or may not have the lap bar in the back, or the handrail, whatever you want to call it. $19.99 to $48.95. I'm putting $19.99 up with the deal of the day, because you could buy those missing accessories for a little bit cheaper and still save a few pennies. Now, I do mean pennies, because I discovered eBay is starting to charge taxes this year. That was a new legislation that was put into place. They mentioned it last year, and it's going to come in effect into 2020. So now you're paying sales tax for whatever state it's going to. So some states the sales tax is higher. Out here in Arizona, it's almost 10%. Oregon doesn't have sales tax as far as I could remember. So try to buy them from Oregon. Yeah, that hit me. I made a few purchases, which I guess as more of a comfort buy, dealing with the stress of my mother still being ill. She's doing great, by the way, still in the hospital, going through a lot of therapy. I mean, intense, everyday therapy. She's leaps and bounds from a month ago, which was today. Actually, about this time, kind of spooky. We were having lunch. So, I didn't mean to get off track, but I bought a few things online. I was totaling this up in my head. It's like, wait a second. This guy is really sticking it to me here. Then I looked, as like $4.85 sales tax. Ah, bugger. I forgot about that. So that's just another thing I'll have to factor in. We all have to factor in if we want to purchase online now. So the passenger compartment, the part that slides out, that is a separate piece, $4.99. That's very, very easy to find on the aftermarket and not very commonly missing. The incomplete driver, which means he doesn't have his pistol, but comes with the seat clip. That is kind of a bonus there. $16.95, deal of the day again. A complete action figure with the file card. Brace yourselves. I'm coming, Elizabeth. $64.99 for this guy. And getting them in this good of condition, and I have to thank the seller again, because I forgot about his gloves getting scratched up when you load him up into the cockpit. he took great care of this. So I'll send him an email after we're done here. Finding it in that good of condition, it's going to raise the price. But $64.99 for this action figure with the file card. I don't have the file card. They're somewhat important to me, but not necessary to do the review. I would like to have them eventually to complete the ensemble. The seat clips are $6.99, and that's why I said as a bonus with the incomplete driver for $16.95, because the seat clips are going for anywhere from $5 to $6.99, but I only found one out there for $6.99. The gun $2.99 to $7.99. The blueprints $4.99, not bad. That's about average for the blueprints, to $9.99. A bit expensive for a late 80s toy. The 90s, they're a little bit cheaper, but this is an insanely popular toy, not unpopular. Insanely popular toy, so that raises the price, right, guys? Incomplete driver, $17.95. That's pushing it, especially if you get one for a seat clip, with the seat clip for $1 less. But giving the toy, yeah, $17.95 is okay, to $25.99. Now we're getting greedy. We're gouging people. Please stop. I know these toys are popular. Vintage toys are just going through the roof, guys. I don't see the bubble breaking anytime soon. And let me pause right here and explain to my new viewers that I share this segment as a part of entertainment, but I get all my prices off of eBay, not to pick on eBay nor its sellers, just to give you guys an idea of what to look for. There are other sites out there where you could buy vintage toys from, but eBay is the most convenient for me. Otherwise, this list would go on for hours. So that's my disclaimer. The seat, the cockpit seat, $4.99. A complete tank, missiles, the lap bar, the cheek guns, $62.99. That is pretty high up there, guys. But given the last time I checked the price on missiles, I haven't found any here this last time I checked. The missiles were going anywhere from $10.95 to $13 for one missile. Complete driver with file card. Oh, I missed these prices, so I wrote it down again. These are a little bit better, $30.77 to $49.99. Really nuts compared to the $64.99. So it'd be $30.77 to $64.99. Yeah, for the driver, file card, gun. No, that is just flat out greed, my friends. It's making it very difficult. I got lucky, extremely lucky with this tank. And I had 2 spare drivers, but I bought those a long time ago. And I got them for about $12 each. They're pretty loose. The joints are loose. I haven't had a chance to tighten them up. I mean, I can't express enough about how much luck comes into play here when buying these toys. Okay, the seat bar that fits in the crew compartment, $14.99 each. Yeah. The main gun, the turret gun up at the top. That thing is 6 inches long, I think. $8.45 to $8.54 just for that gun. Complete with box, I could understand this price now, after doing the research. $269.99, and that is not mint in box. It just came with the box. $270. No. It is nuts. I lost a little more hair when I saw that one. And the cheek guns, or the side guns, $3.99 each. The wheels on the bottom, those are $1.99 to $2.99. So that's why I'm saying, if you guys don't have this, run out and get one. I would suggest go to a vintage toy store. You'll save a few bucks. And you'll be helping out your community. But the prices are not going to go down on this. So, public service announcement. Hurry up and do it. This is just a beautiful tank. I can't say enough good about either of these two. I'm just blessed to have both of these, really. This collection it brings me a lot of joy. It brings other people joy that come in and visit it, especially my niece and nephews. I have another nephew comes by and plays with it. So again, you guys, stay tuned for the review, or another review, of course, but for the giveaways. Okay, when those, I think the one prize is coming today, so when I get it, I'll make the announcement about that prize. Yeah, so if you want to become a channel supporter, you could do it by making a contribution to this channel. It's not necessary. I want to reiterate that, but it does help the channel out. It helps it grow, allows me to review more toys, but to take the money that I would have spent on whatever was donated and turn that around to buy a prize for you guys. Or there's a financial contribution that came in recently to help pay for these studio lights. It came from a friend. He doesn't want anybody to, I mentioned that last week. He wants to remain anonymous, and I completely respect anonymity. So yeah, he just said, hey, let me help you buy these lights. As you could tell, it's a big difference. It's cloudy outside and my room is lit up. So yes, thank you very much. You know who you are. I really appreciate it. So my address will be down, my mailing address will be down at the bottom if you want to send something into the channel. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be money. It could be file cards, comic books, whatever. Whatever you want to send. I am very grateful to receive it. Not necessary, but that'll put you up there with the channel supporters. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you very much to my newest subscribers. You guys know who you are. Sometimes your names don't pop up, so I don't want to leave anybody out. So thank you guys very much. That really warms my heart when I get new subscribers. It lets me know that my content is worthy enough for you to subscribe to and to watch. I do greatly appreciate it. And as always, be kind to everyone. You never know what kind of day someone is having. And always remember to be kind to animals. They know nothing but love and compassion. And right now, my dog and cats are keeping me company, and that really helps right now, dealing with my mother. So anyways, stay tuned for that prize announcement and for next week's toy review. What it will be, I don't know, so we'll have to find out. So this is Joe Motion Videos 82 signing off. You guys take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay dry. See you next